Hey guys, welcome back to the 7.5 Arms podcast. I'm Braden.
I'm Mo.
I'm Charlie.
I'm Max.
Hey,
With 2Ks.
Max.
With 2Ks.
And welcome back to another episode of the 7.5 Arms podcast. And before we start on the topic, which is nostalgia, if you couldn't already tell by the title and the thumbnail, we have to address a couple elephants in the room. So we got more views and more subscribers and more likes than I was expecting, and that really warms my heart. Even if I know that it's that some of them, or a big chunk of them, are my family, I still really appreciate all of you coming around and actually giving it a listen. We all are super appreciative. We wanted to do this project because we thought it'd be fun, and we didn't know how far we could go. And even after 2 hours, after we hit 10 subscribers, it was just fun. We're really happy that happened. Anybody else really happy?
Yeah, that was really
I'm
incredible.
pretty happy.
I could not believe it, bro. The amount of views in just this 1-2 hours was
An
insane.
hour, it was crazy.
We
weren't expecting.
We
this
were yelling
much
about
feedback.
it in our
It was crazy.
Yeah.
we were yelling about
if
it
we
in our
check
group
right
chat.
now, let's see how much we're at. We're at 97 views.
All right.
97 views currently.
Nice.
That's crazy.
And so there's another elephant in the room. So
boy.
if you paid attention last episode, which I highly recommend that you watch,
Of course.
we promised that
Mo
if
promised. I
we
promised.
reach 10 subs, we would reveal the former name of this podcast, because it wasn't always planned to be 7.5 Arms. So does anybody want to say the name of the original podcast?
I think I should say it. It was my promise after all. So I think I should go address it. So before we decided on 7.5 Arms, the original podcast name was 3 White Kids and an Indian, and we will not reveal who the Indian among us is.
I love that.
It's a secret.
It was something that we just said randomly when we first came up with the idea to do a podcast. Someone just blurted it out, and we are like, that's funny. And then as time went on, we were like, I don't want to name it that. But so one of the things that we were talking about was how kind of funny it would be to not reveal who was Indian among us, and just we wouldn't bring it up. We wouldn't bring it up that we weren't telling you, but you just sort of had to guess.
Am I the Indian?
I don't know. It might be me.
I don't know. Who knows?
Maybe you had to guess.
I'll give you a hint.
Yeah.
His name starts with an M. So.
Damn it.
Ooh, we got 2 contestants.
We got 2 contestants.
All right, you
If
guys
we reach
tell us
20
in the
subscribers,
comments who you think is Indian.
it's Mo. It's Mo.
If
It's
we
Mo.
hit 20 subs, I was gonna say if we hit 20 subs, then we would reveal who it was.
Well, now y'all know Mo is the Indian.
Yes, sir.
And that's
rest
the
of us
last
are
time
white
we ever
kids.
bring it up. Thank God. I'm glad we got
Thank
it out of the way
God.
now. Actually,
We
Yeah.
did get it out of the way. The big elephant in the room. One of us is a minority.
No,
Yeah.
I'm a minority too. Don't.
No.
I'm
Braden.
my arm is crippled.
Minority gang.
Wow.
Minority gang.
All right, now let's get into the topic of today's podcast, which is nostalgia.
Yeah, just general nostalgia
Who wants to
things.
start?
Great. One of the things that I mentioned was sort of like games that we grew up with. We're all gamers here.
We all game.
We all
Yeah.
game.
But
Who wants to go first?
I
think
feel
we
like
should
the
go
games that
then
you-
movies. Games, movies.
games, movies, other things. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a
Even
good
childhood
goal.
sports.
Oh yeah, we can also go with that. We'll see where we get to.
Anything
let's
nostalgic,
Who wants to go
yeah.
first? Yeah, anything.
Let's go with games.
Let's
Well,
go games first.
So as we know, me and Mo here are huge Sonic fans.
As the fans.
That's just how it is. That's just how it is, and we both really grew up with Sonic. Mo, what was your favorite Sonic game? as a child?
Well, the reason I'm such a big fan, as you say, is when I was a kid, my brother had a PS2, and one of the first games I've ever played was this game called Sonic Heroes on the PS2. And I bet that most of you watching this know who Sonic is. He's a pretty big icon.
You got a
And
movie.
you know, yeah, and a movie.
Fact.
If you haven't watched the movie, it was actually a good movie somehow after the trailers and stuff. But that's besides the point. But as a kid, it was one of the first games I've ever played. And I remember it playing a lot with my brother. And I think that's when I kind of got hooked. And I have a lot of memories playing on the PS2. So I think that's like where my gamer trope started.
Yeah, and even with me growing up with Sonic, before I was in kindergarten, over the summer, branching from preschool to kindergarten, I was in the hospital for like 5 weeks, I think, with a stomach blockage, but that's besides the point. And just throughout the time that I was there, there was a game room there, and it had a PS2 with Sonic Heroes, like Mo said.
Oh
And
yeah, nice.
I was always in there playing. I was always in there playing with some kid on Sonic Heroes, and it just branched off from there. I left the hospital. One of my uncles gave me Sonic and Sega All Stars Racing, and everything just branched off from there. Every time I saw Sonic, I was getting that game.
All right.
Yeah.
Doesn't that just warm the heart?
It does.
Anyway,
Doesn't it?
I
A
didn't
sick
play
child
Sonic.
getting into
I
Sonic.
played
Yeah.
Pokemon.
sorry, I stepped on you.
So, as a kid,
Max, what about you?
As a
What games
kid-
did you grow?
yeah, so as a kid, I didn't really play video games till I was like 7, and then for Christmas, I got my first Pokemon game for the Nintendo DS, and my brother pretty much carried me through the game because he knew what to do and I didn't. And yeah, I really started to like the series, and that's just one of my fondest childhood memories. And I got into other games like Smash Bros. Around that time, and I still play that game to this day, and I love the series. And yeah, that's just what started it all.
Yeah.
That's
That's
pretty cool. Charlie, it was.
Yeah, I
What
guess it's
about
my
you,
turn.
Tyler?
Yeah. So I grew up with 3 older siblings in the house and 1 younger sibling. So big family. So of course, we got a Wii. Yeah, that was the thing that you had back then.
Best console.
Wii.
Everyone does.
Dude,
Everyone.
so yeah, but so it's just me playing like Wii Sports and Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Those are some of my favorite nostalgia games to revisit. We had a ton of games back then. And I don't want to make this all about Sonic, but one of them was Sonic and the Black Knight. I think Super Smash Bros. Brawl was probably my favorite one. Just because I could just sit there for hours doing whatever. I just, pick a character. In fact, it took me like about, I think, 3 months to figure out how to play with a CPU. Because I do remember being upset that no one would play with me, and I would always go, I need 2 players to play, you don't understand. And then I found out that I could add a CPU, and I'm like, this is amazing. I'm incredible. I'm a genius.
The level 1 CPU.
Yeah, no, and it was just me playing Young Link. I am sorry that I got a notification. Let me put that on Do Not Disturb. It was just me messing around with Young Link and Ike. There's like the only 2. I had like items and Smash Balls on and stuff. And then like my next console, because my brothers were significantly older than me. The youngest out of the oldest is 7 years older than me, so there was a pretty big disconnect. So obviously they had moved on from baby games to Xbox, so they got an Xbox 360, and I wasn't really allowed to play on it too much because it was quote unquote theirs. But I did sneak in a couple sessions of Call of Duty every once in a while. And then my brother Brian found out, and he got mad because I played that Modern Warfare 3 mission, No Russian. Do you guys know about that?
I don't.
No, because my parents, when I was a kid, wouldn't let me play gun games at all.
You know what?
And once I actually did sneak,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was Call of Duty for the PS3, and I got caught playing it while I was downstairs, and I wasn't allowed to play video games for like a week.
For
And I
those
was
of
like,
you, oh sorry.
not. No, it's fine. I'm done.
For those of you who don't know what No Russian is, it's a pretty gruesome one, and I think I think it got news sensation as well. But it's you play you're one of 4 Russian guys that go into an airport with fully loaded machine guns, and you literally just you just
That's
kill
what it
civilians. And I remember I was trying to bond with my older brother Brian, and I was like, I told him about how I played that mission. He says, "You played that mission?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "You can't play the Xbox anymore." And I'm like, "Oh no." It was that and Battlefield 1942 that I really played. Yeah, and that's about like growing up with gaming, really. That was my before I was even in like 2nd grade.
Like, video games really helped me bond with a lot of people, and I don't even know if all of us would still be friends if it weren't for video games to connect over.
Yeah, I think that's like a big thing to have in common with like a
It
group
really
of people.
impacts some people's lives.
Yeah, and I think I'd like to say something. My brother, I think for all of us, our siblings kind of got us into video games, but
Not great.
I'm the oldest.
He's the oldest. All of us have
but-
siblings.
Hospital got me into video games.
Facts.
Yeah.
The healthcare system.
America at its finest, right there. See what it does. See what the healthcare system is.
Like every children's hospital should have like a gaming.
Should have a game room.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Anyway, yeah.
Oh yeah.
No.
So yeah, like I was saying, me and my brother had a DS. If you guys know what that is.
What?
And
everyone knows.
yeah, what's a DS? And he had
oh yeah, I didn't know.
he had Pokemon on the DS, and I remember watching my brother play, and I think that's how I kind of got into like Pokemon. And like if you remember in elementary school, like with Pokemon trading cards, I would always bring those to school and trade with other people. Shout out Johnny. If Johnny's listening to this, shout out Johnny.
It didn't matter what elementary school you went to in our sort of collective school system. I don't think we need to explain it. There's like 6 elementary schools that funnel into 2 separate middle schools that funnel into 1 high school.
Yeah. And that's.
But it didn't matter what elementary school you went into. There was always this Pokemon card. That's also like a generational thing. It doesn't matter what year you went to school. There was always some Pokemon card thing. And did Pokemon cards end up getting banned because some kid like stole cards or ripped up cards and stuff like that? That's what happened with us. Kids started stealing cards.
Same thing at my school.
It takes one kid to ruin it for everyone.
Yeah, in elementary school, the big thing I had was Beyblade, and I remember one kid would bring his arena, and I'd bring my Beyblade, and I just a bunch of other kids, like a group of 20 children, would just after school all group up in the pavement and just start Beyblading, and then the teachers told us to get off school property, and then they got banned.
Dang.
Which was unfortunate. I think a bunch of kids were doing it in class.
While we're talking about funny school stories, I'm not gonna get too into. There's a lot of them. Okay?
Oh yeah,
that could be a whole separate episode.
That's a different conversation entirely. But I think it happened around the same time with the Pokemon. Two things happened around the same time with the Pokemon cards. And it was do you guys remember it wasn't silly bands, do you remember those little makeshift rubber band bracelets that you were able to make?
Yeah,
what are they called?
Yeah, I think it was Rainbow Loom. That's exactly what that is. Rainbow Loom got so big.
I had a burning hatred for those, by the way.
Where I made so many of those, where I was making Sonics out of the rubber bands, I swear.
Yeah.
Best thing ever.
And also there were 2 rival makeshift currencies that went around. I don't know if any other school had this. But I can't remember what they were, but like it was basically like it was basically just like a gang war. You were either friends with this person or the other person, and they'd give you money if you were on their side, but like not actual money, their own makeshift money, and you couldn't buy anything, obviously. But
I know this is kind of I know this is kind of breaking away from like the video game subject we're on, but like one nostalgic moment I had was in elementary school. I think a lot of people know this game, Foursquare. At like recess.
Foursquare.
Oh my god, like second, third, fourth grade at like recess, everybody would just bolt and play Foursquare, and that's like a big nostalgic moment. Like
the first person to
like,
be king was always the one to be respected.
Yeah, if you were king, if you guys know what we're talking about, you know how it feels to be the king.
Did you guys?
The king, everyone was just envious.
Yeah, sorry for breaking away from the subject, kind of.
No, well, it's on the topic of nostalgia. It's not just video games. Nostalgia is basically anything. But so, I'm not to brag, but I'm quite the master at Foursquare.
I used to be pretty good too.
And
I always sucked.
I don't know if any of you guys had something like this, but so I was really good because I would always do snake eyes, where I'd look the other way and throw it to a person.
Snake eyes.
Yeah, and I did that so often that they went, no snake eyes. They got really mad, and basically my entire strategy got thrown off because I couldn't look at the Joker and then throw it directly to the Queen. Couldn't do that.
Yeah, that's a big gimmick. Yeah, a lot of childhood.
Yeah, there's probably rain on my end. I'm sorry.
I don't hear it if there is.
Yeah, I don't hear any.
Yeah. Right. Oh, one big. Sorry, Max, to cut you off. But one big thing that was part of my childhood is Charlie already mentioned it. The Wii. I would have days where I would literally, me and my family would just play the Wii all day. There was like this Wii fishing game on like Wii Play, and I have like just playing that like weeks just with my family, and like Mario Kart. Like games like that just were really.
I always
big,
played
like,
Pool on a Wii Play. I also had this one game. I got to play it again recently. It's EA Playground.
Oh no, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Now that I play it, it's really easy. Also, because I'm now a teenager. I just got really into emulation for like 1 week, and I'm like, I remember EA Playground, and then I played it, and then. And then it wasn't too good. But I mean, I feel like that's also a product of nostalgia. Is that like you wonder whether you wonder whether you viewed everything through like rose-colored glasses and stuff, or if it was actually really good. Like if
I remember. Oh, sorry, you could go.
Silence noises.
No one was talking. Yeah, no, go ahead.
No, all right, I'll go. So I remember Wii Sports Resort for the Wii.
Great
I gamed so hard on that, and my favorite was this one where you'd have like the that toy sword on top of this tower, and you had to swing the Wii remote with another person, and you'd have to knock them off the tower. And that was my favorite, and I'd get pissed when I lost because my little brother just would swing his controller rapidly with no sense
that's not how you're supposed to play the game.
Yeah.
Haha, funny Wiimote over.
You know, talking about swinging things around, I have a pretty. I got in trouble. I think Charlie already mentioned this game, but there's this game on the Wii called Sonic and the Black Knight where you have Sonic. Yeah, he holds a sword.
The sword for that game.
Yeah, and you basically just swing the remote around to just like move the sword and like destroy enemies and stuff. And if you guys know anything about the Wii, you know that before every game it'll warn you to put on the strap so the Wii remote doesn't fall off. And I used to be the kid who was like, okay, this is useless. Like, why is this a thing? And one day I was gaming really hard on Sonic and the Black. I was just swinging it everywhere, and I threw my controller at a wall and it broke. I remember I just started crying.
I once got mad because I was losing in Wii Sports Bowling, and I threw the Wiimote at my dad, and I couldn't play for 3 months. I remember this so vividly because it was scarring. Because I'd look at the Wii and I'm like, "Can I play?" He's like, "No." It might have been for less than 3 months, but that's what it was like in my head. And then finally, it was like, "Yeah, you could play." But I remember I was like, "I don't like it,"
1v1
and because I think I wanted to play, I wanted to play baseball instead of bowling, so I threw it at my dad, and he got really mad. My dad was the champion at Wii Sports Bowling. He had that star ball that you would get once you got to like 2,000 points in Wii Bowling.
I was never good enough.
It was insane. Nah, like whenever you'd play on his profile, you got to have that new shiny ball, and it's like, yes.
What a
If you know anything about Wii Bowling, you know that there's a mode where you can play 100-pin bowling, which is super fun.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
great. The satisfaction of knocking all of the pins down.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
And I remember I got really into it, and I always used to play my mom and dad. And one day, like, they took me to an actual bowling alley. I was like, this sucks. Why are there only 10?
Bro, where's the 100?
Where are the other 90?
I demand the 90 now.
Yeah.
They just bring you to a secret back room and they just have all 100.
They're like,
there's just like a million pins. There's just
heard
a
you
million
wanted
pins.
to play 100-pin bowling. Well, lucky for you, we've got enough. And they just take you to the secret back room.
If I were to start a bowling alley, I would call it 100-pin bowling, and there would only be 100 pins.
It would only be
Yeah,
one bowling alley with 100 pins.
You'd have
Yes.
That would be so
exactly.
fun, though. That would be so fun.
And you would have to pay like $1,000 to go once. I would make some serious bank.
seems fair.
That's okay.
$10 per pin.
This is for the highest of percent
There are
people.
10 bucks.
Yeah.
You have to be swimming in cash if you want to be able to bowl. at
With
the
100 pins. Yeah.
Just Scrooge McDuck.
Only
So I think
Yeah, but
now we should get
all
into
jokes
like
aside.
nostalgic TV
Yeah.
shows and stuff. This is.
Oh,
Do you?
Thomas the Tank Engine.
no.
I never watched Thomas.
Favorite
I never
show.
watched those. Did you guys
you
ever
missed
watch
out,
like
buddy.
it was like George and the Purple Crayon? What is that?
I did not watch that.
Oh,
Oh,
yes, I did.
It's a book series,
was-
but it's also a TV show. I loved watching that TV
yeah.
show. My parents would always play it.
I haven't watched it in 8 years.
You know,
I forgot everything
guys
about
watch,
it except this one kid with purple crayon that drew stuff.
I was
only
I
real
found-
ones know what Wow Wow Wubsy was.
Oh, Wow Wubsy was amazing.
Wubsy, bro, best show ever. Best
We're
show
gonna
ever.
I swear we're gonna start singing the theme song.
Uh,
No.
It's all in sync, but it's so off.
this
I'm
video was
not- I am-
copyright claimed.
I'm not gonna sing. Yeah, no, that's. I don't think it'd be copyright claimed, but we'd sing so bad that it couldn't be claimed. I am.
Everybody would just
But-
unsubscribe.
When
I'll just start
when
mumbling.
anybody brings up Wow Wow Wubsy, the first thing that pops in my head is Wow Wow Wubsy 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 Wow. Like I'm just.
Best
It's
part
the
of
theme
movie.
song just goes in the back of my head, and me and Brayden. I found this tweet on. I found this thing on Twitter. It was a picture of the cake from Max and Ruby, and it's like, "Don't
Oh my
talk
God.
to me.
Oh,
You're too young if you don't know what this image is." Max and Ruby.
Oh, I've
did
seen
any of
those.
y'all watch Oswald from
No,
Nick
I did
Jr.
not.
about
No,
that
I
blue
didn't.
octopus? Hold on, I'm gonna find an image. I'm sorry if you hear clicking. Real quick.
Okay, well, in
What's-
the meantime, while he's finding that image, bringing it back.
it was one of the cool kids who watched Powerpuff Girls in secret.
When I was like
Secret.
little, I didn't watch it. I remember the dude, but I never really watched it. No. But
The monkey
Oswald,
dude
yeah.
from Powerpuff Girls, bruh.
I actually didn't like the Rugrats because I thought it was creepy.
Oh, no,
Uh,
dude, the Rugrats.
The Rugrats does
I
have
don't
sort
know.
of an eerie style.
Yeah, I didn't like
Dude,
it.
I was more of like a mainstream kid. I stick to Cartoon Network, Disney, and Nick.
Bro, for real, yeah.
Dude,
I was
Nick
never
was
Who else
Rugrats.
remembers? Who
Nick
else
was Rugrats.
remembers Handyman?
Handy Mandy. Ooh.
Thank you, Manny.
Uh,
Did he also speak Spanish? You know, he spoke Spanish, right? I
There's
swear
also
he
the Fairly Odd Parents and like obviously SpongeBob.
Oh,
I
and
mean,
if
yeah.
anybody knows the show Danny Phantom, that's a great show.
Yeah.
That one I never really got into.
Ben
Same
10
with
was
Ben
really
10.
good too. Oh, yep.
Ben.
Mo
Same
knows.
time. Yeah, Ben 10.
Yeah, Ben 10. The intro was a bop.
All right, I think we should move from TV shows.
The only thing that I ask when someone is my friend is that if they can at least sing me one of the Danny Phantom theme songs.
This is a checklist to be my friend. Number 1, sing the
Do
Danny
you know the
Phantom
Danny
theme
Phantom
song.
theme song? Question 2. Can you sing the Danny Phantom theme song? Oh no, sorry, not Danny Phantom. Sorry, Ben 10 theme song. Either one actually. If you can sing the Danny Phantom theme song, you're good.
Alright, I think it might be time to move from TV shows to movies, and I'm gonna start off. Finding Nemo is one of the greatest films ever to be created.
Finding Nemo is so good. I've watched it like so many times. I don't think I could count.
What's one movie as a kid that made you cry?
Not Up. Did any of y'all cry at Up in the first 10 minutes of Up?
I did not.
I found it
Cry.
sad, but I'm not the type to cry at things.
So I've watched Up a couple of times, and every single time I watched the opening, I was like, "This is like this wouldn't make me cry." And like I was always like this little obnoxious brat, this like 2-year-old who's like, "This isn't sad," and then like. I cried at it for the first time when I watched it again when I was 13. I'm like, no, like I actually started tearing up, and I don't know why. I think it's just when I got older and I understood the concept of like death more, and I was like, okay, yeah, this is, it hurts, it hits me. It's
I remember vividly the Scooby-Doo movie.
Oh, is that the live action one? I hate that movie so much.
Yeah. With
I
the
think
weird
Coolsville
CGI
sucks.
Scooby. I think I've seen that movie about 3 times. Essentially.
Yeah.
And the other 4 times were because my brother wanted to watch it.
Okay, I'm
And he
gonna make a
made me
quick
watch.
exception. I'm gonna move back to TV shows for a bit because I have kind of a pretty funny story. But as many of the people who know me know, I get scared very easily.
He does.
Just early.
Yeah.
Screamed into my mic and Mo just like jumped. He went.
Yeah. So but still, when I was a kid, we were at my cousin's house and we were in their basement, and my cousins are the same age as me, and it was me, my cousins, and my older brother, and we were just like looking at Netflix for TV shows to watch, and I was trying to act cool, and I was like, hey, let's watch a scary movie or TV show, and we clicked on The Walking Dead, and I was like, yeah, let's watch that one.
Wow.
And we watched the first episode, and I got so scared. And I had like nightmares about zombies. And I still watch the show to this day. Like I absolutely love the show, and I'm not scared of it anymore. But like as a kid, that like freaked me out so much.
I'm
In the
gonna
first
go ahead.
episode, the zombies rip open a cow.
Yeah, they were a
Yes.
horse.
Yes. Didn't like he
Oh.
look under the car and there was like he sees a little girl's feet and he doesn't know it's a zombie yet. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
episode scared me as well, but not too much because I only saw like a bit of it before I left the room. I'm just gonna circle back to TV shows for one more thing. I grew up with Adventure Time. That has to be my favorite show to this day.
yeah.
Actually, I really love it.
Okay.
And I was so
Even
I was so
the
upset.
younger people will not
And it-
understand, but Cartoon Network used to be
and it-
so good. There were shows like regular show. If you know what regular shows, that was a
Regular
great
show, Chowder,
Adventure Time.
Flapjack,
I
Adventure
actually
Time.
saw
Yeah.
when that
There used to be so
ended.
many good shows on
Which one?
Cartoon
Regular
Network,
show?
and it's just not as good anymore.
Yeah, I was so upset when regular show ended.
Yeah, that was a good show.
I'll get recommended the endings to those shows on YouTube at times where I'll just see like Pops hugging his brother and I'm like, oh my god, no. Like I hate to think that all those shows are over.
Yeah, it is really tough to think about.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, movies. So my parents had a van, and it was one of those vans where they had the TV in the middle where you could put a CD at it, like a movie CD at the front, and then you could play movies for the kids in the back. And so it was great for younger kids. So me and my little brother Bennett, it was just perfect for that. So they didn't switch out the DVDs, so there was only like a select few that we could watch at a time, and literally every single road trip Monsters Inc. It was literally just Monsters Inc. and that was it.
No.
Oh, you know what? No.
I
We
had
also
the-
watched a show called A Pup Named Scooby Doo. It's basically
Oh.
like
Yeah, I know
Muppet
what you're
Babies,
talking about.
but Scooby Doo. And
Oh.
one of the things that I did to amuse my younger brother is that I'd set the audio to French, and we'd just play this one part where it sounded like someone said poop. And we'd just laugh at that for like an hour. And my parents got so fed up that they took out the DVD so that we couldn't do that again.
I remember.
Did you guys watch Toy Story 3?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've watched all the
Everyone's-
Toy Stories.
everyone's watched
No.
Toy Story.
Yes.
Actually,
Toy
yeah, I
Story
did. I
3,
actually did. Yeah.
the monkey scene with like the symbols.
Oh, that's
scary.
scared me so
Dude,
much.
yes,
that was
dude.
the scariest thing.
So
Like
much.
I was little, I was seeing it in theaters, and I was so scared. I was like hiding anywhere that I could, just to get away from that monkey.
Yeah. I hated Toy Story 3. It was a lot different than the other two. I wasn't ready for all the horror for a child.
yeah,
And
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it traumatized
I feel
me for
you.
like a year.
Or the monkey. The monkey.
It was just like-
Dude, if
and the baby.
Yeah, and the baby.
Or
the baby turns good at the end, then Lotso pushes them in the dumpster.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
whenever I see those monkey
I'm
things,
sorry,
I'm like, you snitch.
I have to mention. I'm so sorry. I have to mention one more TV show. I just have to.
Go ahead, Mo.
Sonic X. If you know.
Sonic X. Yes. How did I not mention that earlier?
Yeah, I had to mention it. This was on 4Kids, and if you know anything about 4Kids, they used to air Pokemon, they used to air Sonic, they used to air like a lot of the video game originated TV shows. And when I said Cartoon Network, Nick, and Disney before, I probably should have put 4Kids in there. I used to watch a lot of 4Kids. I used to watch Pokemon, and Sonic X was one of my favorite shows as a kid. I always used to play it on demand when I missed an episode.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm sorry for interrupting.
No, that's
Wait, I
fine.
have one show that was also good. Have y'all degenerates ever heard of a show called Kirby Right Back at You?
Oh no, I did not watch that
I've
show
heard
as a
of it.
kid.
I haven't
I
watched it. I watched
I
them.
watched it, and it,
I watched Sonic Underground as a kid.
it
We had a
very-
DVD for that too.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh.
no, yeah. When I was in the hospital, before I was transferred from one to another, my cousin actually brought me Sonic Underground, and I watched that so many times. You can guess it.
Mo and Braden's love for Sonic goes deep, like seriously. I'm not that big of a Sonic fan, legitimately.
As a kid, yeah.
I've
I
just
used
been
to-
exposed to some of the media throughout my lifetime.
As a kid, I dressed up as Sonic for
Oh,
Halloween
okay.
once. It was pretty
Oh
fun.
yeah, I dressed up as Sonic and Shadow. Like I was branching off into every Sonic character I could be.
Yeah, dude, I think most of my nostalgia just comes from Sonic.
Well,
Honestly.
Yeah, Sonic on best game.
And that's why I think when we watched the movie, me, Braden, and Max watched the Sonic movie like when it came out, and just the nostalgia rush, like the rush of just like watching a character you've known for this long, like on an actual like movie screen, is just kind of like mind-boggling in a way.
all right. I got a question for y'all. Okay, so we've sort of gotten past talking about what we're nostalgic about. Now, have y'all ever revisited any of these things? And
I have.
how has it
I have.
Yeah.
and how did it change, and how has it contrasted to what you do now, what you play now, what you watch now?
I find the games
Right.
so much easier than I did when I was little. Like
Yes.
oh yeah.
Sonic
That's a
Heroes,
given.
I could never pass
Yeah.
Seaside Hill. Like never passing Seaside Hill. I
It's
swear
and
to
by the way,
God.
that's the first level. I'm pretty
That's
sure.
I'm pretty
Can I-
sure it was
okay,
because I could
so-
figure out how to select a character.
I guess I'm gonna have to get this game again too, but Wall-E for the Wii. So
Oh, I
this
have
is a
Wall-E
bit of a
on
long.
PS3.
It's a bit of a long story, but so when my the Movico that's near the town. Have y'all ever been to that? You've been to that Movico before.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I've been.
I
Yeah.
have, I have.
So we go there, and they used to have this little area where if your parents are watching an adult movie, and you couldn't hire a babysitter, you could just drop your kids off in this area where like underpaid workers would watch you, and they had activities for you to do. But they had Wii, and they also had Wall-E for the Wii. And I think because I could never beat any of the first level either, so I got really mad, and one of the workers snitched on me and told my parents that I get really mad at this game, and that it makes me angry. So what they did is they threw away the Wally game, and I got so mad because I'm like, no, I promise. But yeah, no, a lot of the games that I played, they just get so easy because like they were made for kids, and now like because I don't know, you've probably intook you've received a lot of information about these games probably like from the internet later, and so now you know the backstory behind some of it, or like you just have a better understanding of it in general.
Yeah, for
but
sure.
Usually with games,
I think,
it's not that exciting.
Yeah, I think like as you even like grow up, like your interests change. Like you weren't seeing like 7-year-old Mo playing like GTA. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do you play GTA now? I don't think you do.
Yeah, I do.
Huh?
And if you guys haven't played the online
Really?
DLC, it's absolutely amazing. But yeah, I think just like as you grow up, your interests just change, and like you still have like a soft spot for like all the stuff you used to like, but like you start playing different games and stuff, watching different movies.
Once I got back into emulation for like a good week with Charlie, I revisited so many old Sonic games that I played, and even
It's always Sonic.
Always Sonic. Sonic was my whole childhood. I even downloaded Project 06. It's someone remade Sonic 06 and a few levels from it, and they're obviously working on it to finish it. And I found it so good. Like everything. Like I'm still downloading Sonic fan games and anything I can do to get to Sonic. Like Sonic is still my favorite thing.
We should probably mention that the game Brandon's talking about, Sonic 06, is one of the worst games of all time. It's absolutely terrible.
Still one of my top five in my top
like,
five.
When I played it, I absolutely loved the game, but like from a third like person point of view, it's an absolutely terrible game. Like critics absolutely hated it. One of the worst games of all time.
The thing
So
is,
bad.
for me, I don't have a game title that I've really loved. Like I love a vast thing of games. It's not like I'm not like Braden and Mo where they love Sonic like a ton and it really affected their life. Like I've had been influenced by so many types of games like Pokemon, like Mario, Smash Bros, Xenoblade. Like there's a ton of games that I could list that I've really enjoyed, but I just can't nail one down that really is part of my life that I've loved forever. If I were to choose one, I'd have to say Smash Brothers. But other than that, I just love a ton of games and they're all great.
Yes.
Just to list a few, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Xenoblade Chronicles 1, Pokemon Black, Super Mario Wii for the Wii. That game actually I had
I used
over
to play
200
that with
hours.
I used to play that at my friend's house a lot.
Yeah, so like a lot of these games I've played multiple times and they're all really fun and I still think they're amazing to this day.
Oh wait, Max, I'm pretty sure in 7th grade when me and you met, this kind of goes to episode 1 a little bit, but I think when we started like talking and found out we had like a good amount in common, I think we actually used to like play Pokemon like after school. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I remember we'd play Pokemon Showdown in class.
Yeah, we used to play
through all the work and then play Pokemon Showdown.
Yeah, like I kind of got out of Pokemon for a little bit, but like when me and Max found that we both kind of like played it, I started playing it again. Pokemon's fun.
Yeah.
So, obviously not all the games that you revisit when you're older hold up too well, but I think in contrast to that, a lot of the shows that I used to watch, when I go back to watch them, I'm like, I'm still entertained by this stuff. Like, one of the things, in our high school, there's you're able to have a lot of free time, just how the school runs it. Like, if you can get all your homework done, you can have blended options where you don't need to go to class. But I made it a goal to watch the entirety of Adventure Time, and I hit it out of the park in like a month or so. And I mean, I have to say, like, I still love Adventure Time. Adventure Time is like one of my hands down. It is my favorite show. I'm trying to think of other shows that I've rewatched recently that really hold up. Do you guys have any shows that you watch?
Yeah, like I think it was over winter break. I was really bored and I started watching a regular show again. And I still found it like a good show. Like when we're talking about shows that we enjoy now that we did back then, we're not talking about like Thomas the Tank Engine, but for the most part, like not like I don't want to say baby shows, but they kind of are baby shows.
They're
you know what I'm saying?
Development.
They're targeted for
child development shows like that. They're not.
Yeah,
aimed, but like
and when
now.
we're talking about
Sorry.
Yeah.
You've got like a whole group of 90s kids that are like so reminiscent of SpongeBob. Like they absolutely
Can we
worship.
just talk about how the new episodes of SpongeBob just don't hold up? Like they just don't hit like they used to.
Some of them are fine.
Yeah.
So I don't think all of
I
that.
went back.
I don't think it's all just hit and miss, but there's you could definitely see a decline in the writing. I guess.
Rip Steven Hillenberg. Steven Hillenberg.
I went back to the first 2 seasons like a year or 2 ago, and they were just so funny. And then I went to like the latest episode, and it just hits different.
Yeah.
In a
not the same.
in a bad way though. In a not as good way.
Yeah, not a good way.
Oh, in a good way?
In a not good
Okay, in
way.
a not good way. All right. Yeah.
It just
not-
feels awkwardly different.
I'm gonna go back to some
Not
nostalgic games. So
Okay, we
obviously,
can go back to games. I'm always down.
yeah. If you don't, if you keep up with sort of internet culture, some notable games have had a resurgence in popularity. Minecraft, dude.
Oh.
Best.
Minecraft just
Yeah.
got a huge like it. People say that it got popular again. Like I never thought it died, but it just wasn't in the internet's collective mind at the time. And for some
wasn't as
reason, people
popular.
just decided to remember Minecraft again, and everybody, they got hooked on it.
Yeah, there was this one point.
Plants vs. Zombies.
Where everyone was calling it like a baby game.
Plants vs. Zombies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that just happens to a lot of online games where if it's popular enough, a bunch of kids start going to it, and it gets associated with little
As
children.
like a kids game.
And then, adults don't want to be seen playing it because they think it's a little children's game. But what are YouTube channels that you used to watch? Gosh, I totally forgot about that.
Oh my god, why did
I don't watch shows anymore
Oh,
because
yeah.
like if you were to ask me what shows I watch now, I'm like, nah, I watch like all of it's YouTube. I think the most
dude.
recent show that I've
Wow.
watched has to probably be The Mandalorian, and that was back in like
The man.
February.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I haven't. I watch more YouTube. I guess there are like YouTube quote unquote shows, but like basically my entire intake when I was young was Skydoes Minecraft and Stampy.
Yeah, branching back to Sonic yet again because I am to the big Sonic nerd I am. I watched Cobra Monty 645. Great YouTuber, like such good Sonic content, and
I used to.
I'm trying to. Oh, who DC? Oh, it was
that
Mo.
was Mo.
What?
We're having some technical difficulties. Mo, okay, he's back.
He's
That's
back.
fine.
There's Mo.
Keep,
Yeah,
you
my
can keep
bad.
talking.
I was saying that I used to watch the same YouTuber as well. And I used to watch a lot of things Sonic on YouTube. And again, we're talking about Sonic for like the 20th time. And
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, it
Yeah.
was a big part of your childhood.
Yeah, for sure.
Sonic was my childhood, I swear. Like the thing I use for my mouse for a mouse pad is like a huge book of Sonic comics.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I played some Sonic games as a kid, but it was never one that I was just consistently playing over and over. I'd switch from game to game just when I was bored, and that's what got me to love so many. Yeah, I just explored a bunch of different kinds of games just to see what I liked, and got me to.
I probably should have mentioned this before, but one of my favorite video games of all time is still a Sonic game. Sonic Unleashed on the PS3.
Mm-hmm.
What
That's Sonic.
what YouTubers did y'all Max did you watch earlier? Did you not watch YouTube?
Oh, I did watch YouTube. I used to watch this channel called Super Mario Logan when I was like,
SML.
yeah,
SML.
when I was like 8, and I still watch it to this day. It's really funny. It's had to switch channels because they've gotten their channel demonetized like twice.
They branched to the third channel now.
Yeah, they're still really funny, and I still watch them to this day.
Yeah, you introduced me to them in like 7th grade, maybe.
That was the main channel that I watched as a kid. I don't remember any others, but I definitely watched gaming videos. I just can't remember the tutorials. I just can't remember.
I watched anything Sonic. Like, that's it. That's all I can say. Anything Sonic on YouTube.
Brayden, if me and you met in like if me and Brayden met in elementary school, we would literally just go off about Sonic. I bet like every discussion, like we would just talk to each other all about Sonic.
Bro, just Sonic. That's where it's at.
Yeah. Oh, I want to go back to movies really quickly, just for a little bit. The Marvel movies, the MCU movies hit different when I was a kid. I got into superheroes because of the Marvel movies, and that's why like when watching movies like Infinity War and Endgame recently, like you get a big nostalgia rush, honestly.
I never really paid attention too much to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, like when Avengers first came out and everyone was like, whoa, it's a crossover, because then they had Iron Man and Captain America. I was just like, oh, cool, superheroes. Like, I had no concept of what the Avengers were. Like, I knew that they existed. Like, I knew Hulk and Spider-Man and stuff, but it didn't really appear, like, it didn't really come to mind, like, that they were all part of, like, one big company. And one thing that, that some people don't realize is that Marvel was going out of business in, like, the 90s.
They sold it for not that much.
They offered Sony all the Marvel characters, and Sony was like, no, only Spider-Man's profitable, and they just bought Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But I don't know how many people actually did know that Marvel was like going out of business and stuff, and they were panicking.
And like how successful it is now, it just
I mean, I'm
like,
glad because those superhero movies, they're fun. Like, they don't need to be the best,
big facts.
The best written movies. They don't need to have the best acting. They're just fun movies that you can sit back and watch. You don't need to, Yeah,
and like when I
always thought the Martin Scorsese stuff where he was like, Marvel movies aren't real movies. It's like, I mean, like, I don't care.
I think I was different from a lot of kids because like when I was a kid I used to be really harsh when I used to like judge things, like especially when like I got like a new video game or something. I would always like go online and check reviews before, and it's like if it doesn't have this good of a review, I'm not buying it.
I just didn't care. I saw the name and the
except for
the
Sonic.
box art.
I saw Sonic, I got it. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
That's how I got into Smash Bros. With Brawl. I looked at the back of the case, I see Sonic's in the game, I'm like, well. Like, that was my whole introduction to Nintendo itself.
I bet like there's like somebody watching this like podcast and they're like, wow, these guys are such nerds.
I am so sorry that I
Right.
can only talk about Sonic. I'm so sorry that the only thing I can say is Sonic. Like, I swear it's the only thing I've talked about. I can't think of anything else that I've said except for something about Sonic.
And dude, that's what all this episode is basically about. It's just nostalgia, and like your nostalgia is like Sonic, and like same with me.
Sonic episode.
Yeah, that's what basically it is.
Like, yeah, you
guys have anything else to add about anything nostalgic?
No, I think we've covered most of it.
That voice.
Most of it.
Clip that.
I think we got most of it. That's the second voice. That's Max's second voice crack in over the 2 podcasts. He had one in the first one too.
He's 2 for 2.
2 for 2. Let's hope we can get one at least every episode. I think that would be great.
Oh, I actually wanted to start something new for this podcast. I want everybody to comment down, just like anything that you, comment down below, anything that was a big part of your childhood, like something nostalgic, could be movies, anything like that, and just want to hear what you guys think is really nostalgic.
You haven't made it this far, honestly.
Yeah.
Really listen through this whole podcast. Comment.
Yeah.
All right. I think this is a perfect place to end it. Well, this has been the 7.5 Arms podcast. You know,
If
be
you
sure to
watched
like,
through the whole
comment, and
video,
subscribe.
you're a
You
trooper.
know, we'd really appreciate it. We're happy
Make
that
sure
we're
to
able to
share
do
it.
this project.
Share it.
Obviously, quarantine has helped us do it a lot because we're not all backed up with homework.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah. Thank you for watching,
Oh,
and we'll see you later. Oh, one more thing.
Yeet.
Don't forget to
yeah.
Actually, leave feedback in the comments for like what you want to see or what we can improve on.
Absolutely,
for
absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Peace.
All right, guys. It's been
yeah, that's
Mo.
it.
It's been real. All right, peace.
Peace.
Don't forget to wash your hands.
Don't forget to wash your hands. Yes.
Wash your hands. Wash.